Bom, boa noite para quem não me conhece, meu nome é João Pedro, eu sou estudante de ciência da computação, atualmente no quinto semestre, e eu tô fazendo as lives para criar aí uma espécie de diário até o dia que eu conseguir minha vaga de estágio como desenvolvedor back-end. Hoje, dia 25, estamos quase fechando aí um mês fazendo lives todos os dias, e a gente tava vendo nas últimas lives sobre estrutura de dados, eu passei um bom tempo, tá? Vendo estrutura de dados aqui. Para não ficar repetitivo, a gente vai voltar lá pro roadmap back-end, que foi o que a gente iniciou aqui. A gente está seguindo três, né? No caso, back-end não levou os outros dois, foi de Git, GitHub, tem um roadmap só para Git, GitHub, e tem um roadmap para estrutura de dados e algoritmos. A gente vai voltar agora aqui no de back-end e vamos escolher algo para estudar. A gente já chegou a ver Git, GitHub, falta rever isso aí de novo, botar em prática. Bitbucket. Vamos continuar lendo aqui sobre os assuntos. Repo Hosting Services, Bitbucket. Eu não sei o que é, não sei como é que funciona. É uma nuvem e ela se conecta com o Git, pelo jeito. Bitbucket é um web-based version control. Ele usa versões de controle de sistema do Git, ele usa Git, então. Ele oferece host de nuvem e host próprio opções, essas duas opções. Ele tem ferramentas como pull requests, permissão de branch, inline. Esse gira, que eu saiba, é só onde algumas empresas usam para manusear tasks. Mas bora ver o que é que se trata isso aqui.
G'day, my name's Kelvin and I'm a product marketing manager for Bitbucket here at Atlassian. Now, perhaps you're brand new to Git or maybe you're familiar with another Git platform. Either way, you're in luck. I'm here to give you a tour of Bitbucket's user interface. Now, maybe you're working on your projects or want to understand how to work with your repositories. Maybe you just want to set up Bitbucket properly. Either way, I'm going to explore Bitbucket's user interface with you to help you and your team get up and running and working as quickly as possible. Let's get started. So as you can see here, this is the Your Work screen. And it's the screen you'll see whenever you log into Bitbucket for the first time. And the work here is categorized into three buckets: pull requests for you to review, pull requests that you've created, and repositories that you've recently visited. Now there's lots of contextual information here. What's going on, who is involved, and what stage of the process is it. The great thing about this particular screen is it's customizable. So you can filter, for instance, to hide the pull requests that need your review so that you're hiding pull requests with broken builds, or have open tasks, or that already have your approval. Same with the bottom here with repositories. You can filter them by recently viewed or last updated. Now let's take a look at each of the items on the left-hand side of the screen. So in the repositories section, you have a list of all the repositories that are available to you. You can filter your repositories by project, by owner, or even repositories that you're watching. You can also search for repositories if you know the name of them too. Really useful if you have a lot of repositories in your team that you're working on at a particular point in time. So this screen, much like the Your Work screen, has lots of contextual information, when it was last updated, whether the builds are green, a description if they have them. And if I quickly have a look in one of these repositories, you can see lots of information here about the files that are within this particular repository. And on the left-hand side here, the commits that have been made, who made it, when they made it, what the commit message was. Any branches that are associated with this particular repository are available here as well. Any pull requests that are here. And if you're using continuous integration or continuous delivery with Bitbucket pipelines, you can have all that information there about all of the builds that are run. And again, lots of contextual information here about what's happened, who's done it, and when it happened. More importantly, at the bottom, you have the settings for this particular repository. So here's a place where you can manage everything for your repository, whether it be the name of it, who has access to it, the branch permissions that are there as well, really useful for those who have more complex workflows. You can lock down who can commit to a particular repository here. For your pull requests themselves, you can set default reviewers. And if you want, you can also set up your pipelines and deployments too. So let's go back to the main screen and let's take a look at our projects. Projects are essentially a grouping of repositories. Really useful for teams who have a lot of repositories that they're working with at a particular point in time. Very easy to group them under one project name. As you can see here, we have the projects that are available to me and my team, a short description of each. And if I were to click into one of these now, you'll see a list of the repositories associated with this project, some contextual information about each repository, and on the right-hand side here, really easy for me to add additional repositories to this particular project as well. So those are projects. Let's go back to our main menu and have a look at pull requests. Pull requests are where code review happens in Bitbucket. As you can see on this screen, I have a list of all the pull requests that I'm currently reviewing, and I have a lot of filterable options here as well. I can look at the pull requests that I'm watching, the pull requests that I've actually created myself, and also the pull requests that are associated with the teams I'm a part of. Now, when I have a look at one of these pull requests in particular, it gives me lots of information about the changes that have been made that are ready to be merged back into the repository. Who made the changes, what changes they've actually made, as well as a diff of the actual files themselves that have been changed and what they've changed within each. So as a review, it's really easy for me to have a look and see everything that's happened. And you can see in the top right-hand corner here, I can approve or unapprove as necessary. So those are pull requests in Bitbucket. Let's have a look at the main screen and the options on the left-hand side again. And let's take a look at issues. Issues are a great way for you to break up larger chunks of work into more manageable pieces and assign them to your team or as an individual. Now, most people integrate Bitbucket with the likes of Jira Software or Trello to do this, but if you want to work on more lightweight issues, Bitbucket provides this functionality here, and you can see all of the issues that are assigned to you, that you've reported, you're participating in, watching, or even the issues that are associated with your team. So those are issues. Let's have a look at snippets. Snippets are a great way for you to share and reuse your code amongst your team or even amongst yourself. They're great because you can share and reuse really important bits of information across your repositories. Makes it really easy for you to share that knowledge and to reuse code and saves you a little bit of time as well. You can filter by snippets you've created, snippets you're watching, and also snippets that are associated with your team. So those are the menu items that we've covered on the left-hand side, but you'll see a number of icons on the left as well. Let's take a look at the first one, search. Now, search is what it says on the box. You can search for repositories, code, and more. And if I were to quickly type in a search term, you can see it immediately comes up with a number of results in terms of pull requests that match my search query. And if I have a look here, I can look at all of the code matches that match my search query. And it lists everything that I have access to. And I can refine by the team I'm a part of, as well as refine with a number of modifiers as well. So I can get really complex and granular with my search terms if I need to. So that's search. If I go back here, let's take a look at our next icon, the plus icon. So the plus icon here is really where you create things in Bitbucket. If I open this menu, you can see here I can create a repository, a team, a project, a snippet, or I can even import a repository as well. The great thing about this is this menu is context sensitive. If I were to go back here and take a look at one of the repositories, when I click on the plus icon again, you can see a number of different options for me to get to work. I can clone the repository.
Pô, galera, pelo que eu entendi aqui, o Bitbucket é uma interface gráfica para gestor e para quem está colaborando em um projeto de uma empresa. Para armazenar é uma nuvem e eles ficam criando uma espécie de avaliação e facilita caso alguém esteja envolvido no projeto queira voltar no passado. E eu acho que fica mais interativo e mais fácil de visualizar os commits e os códigos. Eu acho que é mais isso. Bitbucket. Esse giro é onde a galera coloca as tasks, se eu não me engano. Eu acho que ver isso aqui, sinceramente, não é a minha prioridade agora, tá? Eu acho que em vez da gente ler, talvez a gente possa ler isso aqui um pouco, não muito, e a gente já pode talvez começar a ver banco de dados. Mas SQL é o que eu mais tenho afinidade. Mas o Postgres também é bem parecido a síntese. Tem o curso completo de MySQL aqui.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your bro. Hope you're doing well. And in this video, I'm going to show you how we can start writing SQL using the MySQL workbench. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right, let's get started, everybody. SQL, it's an acronym meaning Structured Query Language. SQL is used to create, retrieve, update, and delete data from a database. Suppose we own a business, like the Krusty Krab from SpongeBob. If we had to manually track all of the transactions by pen and paper, well, that would be a lot of extra work. If we had a database, we could keep track of these records electronically and save ourselves a lot of trouble, right? There's two types of databases I'll discuss: relational and non-relational. A table in a relational database, it resembles an Excel spreadsheet. There's rows and columns. Tables within a relational database can form, well, relationships with one another. And that is done by this concept of keys, which I'll explain in a further topic. Then there's non-relational databases. That's where our data is organized in any format but a table. This could
JSON é banco de dados não relacional, então.
include JSON files, key value pairs, graph data structures, entities of that nature. To utilize data in a relational database, we would use SQL. Then with a non-relational database, we would use a different language named NoSQL, meaning not only SQL. But since this is an SQL series, we will be working with SQL and relational databases, not non-relational databases. To write SQL statements, we would need the help of a special piece of software known as a database management system. People shorten this to simply DBMS. It's a workspace
É
for
um
us to write
CRUD, né?
SQL statements and generally just work with our database. It'll make our lives easier. There are different DBMS systems you can use, one of which is MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, and PostgreSQL, but there's still many more out there. Each of these database management systems all use SQL, but there's subtle nuances between the syntax of each database management system. If you're familiar with one database management system, transitioning to another will take little to no effort at all. In this series, we will be working with the MySQL database management system, and I'll show you how to download that for both Windows and Mac OS. Hey everybody, so the download
Já tenho instalado aqui o Workbench já.
out of that. Click. Keep MySQL delete. I might have to explain how we can do a workbench. My downloads archives just give it a second. Click on the DMGR. Click continue. Pretend for then go preferences at the bottom left corner. Look for MySQL. Click on it. Then start MySQL search. Hey, welcome back everybody. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can make some tables in MySQL. A table in a relational database, case, but that's just me. Create database, and then we'll need
O basicão eu lembro, tá? Eu acho que até onde eu não sei, eu sei o feijão com arroz pra fazer um crude. Mas tu botar pra fazer um join, eu não sei não. Join eu não manjo não. Que é juntar um cruzamento de informações que eu não lembro mais ou menos como é que é.
a unique database name. What about MyDB? Then it's important with
Vou botar assim. Nossa, ficou pequeno, hein?
106. Hey, welcome back everybody. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can make some tables in MySQL. A table in a relational database, they consist of rows and columns, kind of like an Excel spreadsheet. In this topic, we're going to create the table and the columns, but we'll be populating the rows in the next video. To create a table, you'll type create table, then the name of the table. I'll create a table named employees. Then add a set of parentheses, semicolon at the end. Within the set of parentheses, we will list the columns. For employees, let's have an employee ID, comma. Each column is separated with a comma. Then a first name, last name. How about hourly pay? That'd be good. Hire date. Which date were they hired? There's one thing that's missing. After each column, we need to set the data type of what we're storing within each column exactly. Is the data going to be whole integers, decimals, text, a timestamp?
Isso aqui será que é a indentação? É não. Eu acho que é porque não tem nenhum database, né? Create. Qual o nome? My database?
Não começa a estudar programação ainda, porque nós do Dev em Dobro vamos te dar gratuitamente um mapa. Esse mapa
The database, and in the next topic, I'll show you will be everybody to disable read-only. Hey everybody, in this topic, I'm going to show you how we can create, alter, and drop a database. What is a database exactly? Think of it as a folder. It acts as a container. Tables, on the other hand, would be the files found within the folder. In this topic, I'm going to show you how we can create the database itself, but we won't be working with any tables until the next topic. We'll need to begin by heading to our query window, which is this large window right here. We're going to write a statement. To create a database, we will type create. There is no case sensitivity in MySQL. These keywords, such as create, they can be all uppercase, just the first letter could be capital, or you could do all lowercase. With the keywords, I like to make them all uppercase, but that's just me. Create database. And then we'll need a unique database name. What about MyDB? Then it's important with all SQL statements to end each statement with a semicolon. It's like the period at the end of a sentence. That's how we know that the statement is complete. So you'll need these three words: create database, then a database name. We just named our database MyDB. Hit this lightning bolt button to execute this statement. And in my output window, unfortunately I can't increase the font size, but I can zoom in. This action was successful. We have created database MyDB. If you head to your schemas tab, then hit the refresh button, you should see a database in here named MyDB. There's also a database for sys. Sys is the internal database that MySQL uses. We'll want to be sure that we're using the database that we just created. To use a database, we can either right-click on the database, then click on Set as Default Schema, or you could use a statement. Use, then the name of the database, MyDB,
Ah, eu
semicolon.
sempre fiz isso aqui.
Execute this statement. We are now using my database. To drop a database, type drop database, then the name of the database. And our database is gone. Unfortunately, we do need a database for this series, so let's go ahead and recreate our database. Create database MyDB. Refresh. Then just to be sure we're using this database, we can either use that keyword use, or you can right-click on the database and set as default schema. Alright, so we can create, use, and drop a database. How about alter? There's two features for beginners I'll mention: setting a database to read-only. The other is enabling encryption. Let's set our database to be read-only. Type alter database, the name of the database, read only equals 1.
Esse não sabia que tinha como fazer isso não. Pra ele ser read-only.
Database read-only. If a database is in read-only mode, we can't make any modifications to it, but we can still access the data within. Let's attempt to drop our database. Drop database MyDB. Then we have a red X right here. That means we could not complete this action. Drop database MyDB. Schema MyDB is in read-only mode. To disable read-only mode, you would set read-only equal to 0. Now we would be able to drop this database. Alright everybody, that is how to now we would be able to only database. Alright everybody, that is how to create, use, drop, and alter a database. Think of a database
Olha esse aqui. Syntax. Alter database. Read only. Será que é assim? Tá igualzinho.
Database is just a folder. A folder can hold files. The files will be the tables that we'll create, which we'll store within the database. And in the next topic, I'll show you how we can create some tables.
Tem uma ideia de app web que vale milhões? Com a Hosting Your Horizons, ela vira realidade. É só descrever sua ideia.
Hey, welcome back everybody. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can make some tables.
Boa noite, tamo junto. Valeu, Anderson. Lucas, boa noite, querido. Estou começando esta programação. Achei interessante suas lives. Parabéns. Valeu, cara. Obrigadão aí pelo elogio. Tamo junto. E espero que estude bastante aí. Eu vou estar fazendo as lives aqui o máximo que eu conseguir, se possível todos os dias. Não tenho certeza se todos os dias. Mas brigadão aí pelo elogio.
In MySQL, a table in a relational database, they consist of rows and columns, kind of like an Excel spreadsheet. In this topic, we're going to create the table and the columns, but we'll be populating the rows in the next video. To create a table, you'll type create table, then the name of the table. I'll create a table named employees. Then add a set of parentheses, semicolon at the end. Within the set of parentheses, we will list the columns. For employees, let's have an employee ID, comma. Each column is separated with a comma. Then a first name, last name. How about hourly pay? That'd be good. Hire date. Which date were they hired? There's one thing that's missing. After each column, we need to set the data type of what we're storing within each column exactly. Is the data going to be whole integers, decimals, text, a timestamp? Those are data types. An employee ID, that...
Quem tá apontando antes aqui? Talvez eu tenha que passar os tipos, né? Pra ele ter dado esses erros aqui.
could be a whole integer. The data type will be int, add int after the column name. A first name, that's a series of characters. The data type for some text would be var char, then within
Aí,
parentheses,
quantidade, né?
the
Baixar de
maximum amount of characters. I
255.
think 50 characters is enough for a first name. Last name, var char,
50 também.
50 is good. Hourly pay. Maybe our hourly pay is in dollars and cents. We'll need a decimal portion. There is a data type. That is decimal. Add a set of parentheses. We'll add the maximum amount of digits for our decimal. I think 5 should be good. Then a precision. 2 for 2 decimal places. The reason that I set the maximum digits of my hourly pay to be 5 is that I don't anticipate anybody's hourly pay being over $999.99 per hour. That's pretty absurd. I think 5 is enough. Then we have hire date. There is a data type, which is date, if you need to work with dates. Otherwise, there's date time if you need to include the time. Just the date is fine. Let's execute the script. We have created our table employees. If
Ah, tá. O último não precisa de vírgula.
I were to refresh my schemas window, underneath tables, we have our employees table. Now I'll show you how we can select a table. If you need to select your table, you can type
Select.
asterisk from the name of the table. Employees. Let's take a look. Here's our table so far. There's no rows, but there are columns. We have employee ID, first name, last name, hourly pay, and hire date. If you need to rename a table, you can type rename, table, the original name, employees, to whatever the new name is. Perhaps workers. Let's try that. Rename table employees to workers was successful. If I refresh my schemas window, the table
É aqui, né?
employees is now known as workers. But I think that's stupid. Let's go back and change it. Rename table workers to employees. To drop a table, I discussed this earlier, you would type drop table, the name of the table. I don't want to drop this, so I'm not going to execute this statement, but that's how you would drop a table. Drop table, the name of the table. If you need to alter a table, there is the alter keyword. Let's add a phone number. Alter table employees. I'm going to write this next part of the statement on a new line. What do we want to add? What about a phone number? Add phone number. Then we'll need to list the data type of this column. Varchar is good. Max size of 15 characters. Then we will end this statement. Execute the script. All right, we have altered our table. Let's take a look at our table. Select asterisk. Asterisk means all. I don't know if I explained that. Select all from employees. We have employee ID, first name, last name, hourly pay, hire date, then our column phone number. Let's rename phone number and change it to something else. We will again use the alter keyword. Alter table employees.
Where?
Rename
I know.
column phone number to, let's say, email. Okay, then let's take a look again. Select all from employees. Yeah, Employee ID, first name, last name, hourly pay, hire date, then email. However, the data type has not changed for email. I'm going to refresh my schemas, then underneath information, underneath employees, our email column has a max size of 15 characters. Let's change that. Column, schemas, then data type has not changed for email. I'm going to refresh my schemas, then underneath information, underneath employees,
Eu vou só bloquear minha tela aqui rapidão pra eu ver um negócio. Pronto.
our email column has a max size of 15 characters. Let's change that.
Alter. Seria mais ou menos um alter table. Employees.
Alter table employees modify column email, then the new data type. Varchar, maybe 100 characters for an email. Let's execute this statement. Refresh our schemas. Yeah, now our email column has a size of 100 characters. Maybe we need to change the
E aquele olha
position
aqui.
column has a size of 100 characters. Schemas. Yeah, execute this statement.
Fica aqui em cima. Aqui. Hum.
Refresh our schemas. Yeah, now our email column has a size of 100 characters. Maybe we need to change the position of our email column. If you need to move columns around, this is how you can do so. Let's move our email column so it's after our last name column. To do that, we would type alter table, the name of the table, modify, the name of the column to be moved, email in this case, then the data type. This email column has a data type of varchar 100. Then the name of the column we would like our email column to follow. I need my email column to come after my last name column. I will type after last name. Then afterwards I might as well just display everything. Select all. From employees. You can write more than one SQL statement. Here we are, employee ID, first name, last name, email, hourly pay, hire date. If you're modifying a column and need it to be first, you could just say first. Email employee ID, first name, last name, hourly pay, hire date. You can use the after keyword, then a column, or first if you need the column to be first. Now to drop a column, you would type alter table employees drop column, the name of the column to be dropped, email. Our email column is no longer there. Alright everybody, that's how we can create a table and work with the columns. In the next video, we're either going to talk about data types, or learn about inserting rows into our tables. I haven't decided yet, but we'll probably cover one of those two.
Você vai gastar para eu aprender programação?
Vamos lá, não existe almoço grátis. Não é que eu vou gastar, não é que eu vou...
Hey everybody, in this topic I'm going to show you how we can insert rows into a table. We have a table named employees. I will select everything from my table, employees. Here are the columns. We have an employee ID, first name, last name, hourly pay, and hire date. To insert a row into a table, we would type insert into
passa os velhos. Era assim, né? Employees. Aí. Não lembro se era assim. Deixa eu ver.
the table, followed by values, parentheses, semicolon. Between this set of parentheses, we will add all of the data for a row. We will follow this order, beginning with employee ID, first name, last name, so on and so forth. But we do have to pay attention to the data types too. Each piece of data will be separated with a comma. Let's begin with an employee ID. The first employee will be Mr. Krabs. He's the first employee. I'll give him an employee ID of 1. Then we'll need a first name. I'll put that within quotes because the data type of our first name is varchar. Basically speaking, that's text. Mr. Krabs' first name is Eugene according to SpongeBob lore. Then we have a last name. Last name Krabs. Hourly pay. This is a decimal. Mr. Krabs' hourly pay will be $25.50. I'm just making up numbers here. Hire date. Here's the format for a date. Within a set of quotes, we will list the year, followed by the month, then the day. I'll set Mr. Krabs' hire date to be January 2nd, 2023. Now we can execute these statements. Yeah, here we go. Here's the first row. Employee ID 1, first name Eugene, last name Krabs, hourly pay $25.50, hire date January 2nd, 2023. It can be somewhat tedious to manually insert each row, one statement at a time. Let's insert multiple rows at once. To do that, after my set of parentheses, I will add another set of parentheses, each separated with a comma, depending on how many rows I would like to enter. So I have 4 employees I would like to enter. I will add 4 sets of parentheses, each separated with a comma. And let me just do some formatting to make this look pretty. Each set of parentheses corresponds to a new row. So let's enter all the data that we'll need for this table. Employee ID number 2 will be Squidward Tentacles. Squidward's hourly pay will be maybe a solid $15. Squidward's hire date, the year 2023, January, I think January 3rd is good. Alright, so that is the next row. Let's work on employee number 3. Employee number 3 will be SpongeBob. Last name will be SquarePants. SpongeBob's hourly pay will be $12.50. SpongeBob's hire date is the year 2023, January 4th. Employee 4 will be Patrick Star. Patrick's hourly pay will be $12.50 as well. Hire date 2023, January 5th. Okay, last employee. Employee ID number 5. First name Sandy. Last name Cheeks. Sandy's hourly pay will be $17.25. She'll be an assistant manager. Sandy's start date will be the year 2023, January 6th. We can execute this statement to insert multiple rows all at once.
Se alguma coisa aqui. Ah, não precisa repetir values, não. Basta colocar os parênteses.
Yep, here's our table. We have 5 rows, each corresponding to a different employee. We have Mr. Krabs, Squidward, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy. I'm going to demonstrate what happens when we attempt to insert a row with missing data. I will insert employee number 6. Their first name is Sheldon. Last name Plankton. But we will not insert an hourly rate of pay or a hire date. Here's what will happen. So we have an error. Column count doesn't match the value at count at row. So we have an error. Column count doesn't match the value at count at row 1. We're missing data for our hourly pay and hire date. You could insert just select columns.
Bom, galera, hoje a gente viu um pouquinho de SQL. Eu já tinha visto o básico antes, mas eu não sei nada muito aprofundado. Sei só feijão com arroz para fazer um crude. E aí a gente tá aqui no roadmap. Eu comecei lendo hoje a live Bitbucket, que eu não sabia o que era. Mas é basicamente um softwarezinho. Software não, também tem a aplicação web dele. Mas é uma nuvem que você pode administrar seus commits, seus códigos e seus repositórios de forma mais iterativa. Eu vi mais a teoria disso aqui. E eu achei que não seria o meu foco agora ler sobre isso aqui. Host Services. E aí eu já vim para bancos relacionais. A gente começou hoje MySQL. A gente veio para esse cursozinho aqui de 3 horas, que tem muito conteúdo aqui. Até joins, começou joins eu não sei, mas até aqui, esses 1 hora e 20 de vídeo, eu lembro que eu já aprendi. Mas é isso, por hoje vamos ficar aqui, por aqui. 50 minutinhos de live hoje. E valeu aí pra quem assistiu. Até a próxima live.